Can you see if anyone's watching us?
I don't know how to see.
Okay.
I thought it was going to do a countdown. It didn't do a countdown, so
Okay.
we're live.
We're live.
Yeah, and I don't care. I think we're just going to chat.
Okay.
So, hello, Krystal Novello.
Hi there.
So, we had a nice moment the other day about the great month you had, and I think more so, not that it was just a good sales month, but things started to click for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Is that right?
100%.
Um, so I want to talk about like mindset and like what changed for you in these last like few months that have you seeing a more likelihood of success for yourself and in your life.
So I was like thinking about it, and like 2 months ago, I closed 3 deals, and
Mm-hmm.
I was excited, and I was excited to tell you about it. And I didn't tell you this, but after I told you, I felt like what I expected from your enthusiasm, it kind of wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I got like in like a dark place. And I was like, you know what? I had put all of my joy or excitement or my goals into what you would perceive of me.
Right.
So then when it wasn't there, I was like, well, what am I doing? So, and I, after that, I was like, you know what? I have 3 deals. I can get through the next few months. Like, I'll just like crawl up and die. That's just kind of how I felt. And I wasn't doing the things daily. And what I found I was doing, I was kind of scrolling through the internet, and I came across like some like podcasts and things. Long story short, I started realizing that I was the problem. And for so long, I was waiting for everyone to kind of give me the boost. Like for so long, you would be like, here, Krystal, and like try to give me the boost. And I always
Mm-hmm.
expected that. And what happened 2 months ago, it was almost like, Krystal, you need to like figure this out from you. And when I didn't have that, I had to figure out what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you were. What I hear is two things were happening. One, um, you were trying to live your happiness through whether how I reacted to it,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I didn't react as excited, or maybe as you didn't feel as I was as proud of you as would have fit. So it dragged you down, and all of a sudden, the what seemed like success to you was not a success because I wasn't feeling it. Instead of you living through what you should be feeling, and then all of a sudden your patterns changed. Right, it became less. It became less about the actions that actually brought you to that three, and started to be the patterns that brought you to the zeros.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
I had relied on other people's perception of me to
mhm,
bring out the
yeah.
happiness.
Yeah.
Everyone, I was like, well, will they think this is okay? Okay, so then it's okay. Will they? And then
Right.
I literally realized that I'm living through other people's lenses,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had to stop that.
And I think also, I don't remember that moment like that. Kind of remember that, but I don't remember like the specific feelings or whatever in that moment.
Right.
But um, I would also say you are maybe hyper proud of yourself when I thought this is something that it should be your norm because I
Yes.
believe higher in you than you believe.
Hmm.
So you're like, I achieved this great thing. I'm like, yeah, but Krystal, you belong up here. So good job. Let's get you up here, you know?
Right.
And so I didn't give you the energy as if you expecting the energy of where I thought you belonged, but you only thought you belonged so high.
Right. And also, that's the issue. None of this has to do with what you should
Right.
be demanding of me. And here
Right.
I am trying to hit your goals and what you feel I should be doing. So I'm reaching them, but I'm not feeling good because at the end, I'm not even thinking from my lens, from my perspective.
Right.
So much of what I valued in myself had to come, and not just you, like that was everything. It
Hmm.
was like, what are my colleagues going to think? What are they going to say? So I would put myself behind this wall because I didn't want to, you know, their perception of me mattered.
Yeah. So how much of that kept you from taking bold action in your life?
All of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of it.
So all that, it's not gone. It doesn't go away, right, in a second,
Right.
but you're aware of it. So now when it happens, you can fight it off,
Right.
right? And then take that bold action that you're supposed to take, that which you've been taking and killing. I mean, you've been doing some things we can't spend talk numbers because
Right.
we'll get arrested.
Right.
but, but like
Right.
you've essentially given yourself a 50% raise on each deal, um, by having the courage and the words and the process to do that. And um, that's not something I see a lot of people doing. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like that, because that's walking into a lines then,
Well, the
and
funny thing about that is it has nothing for me to do with work or the job or the money. I had to detach from all of that completely and work like totally internalize what I felt I was either able to do or good enough to do. Once
Mhm.
I started thinking about my mindset and fixing me, those other things fell in line. So I literally just had to change how I felt as a person. If I felt worthy, letting go of limited beliefs. Once I just did that, I literally stopped thinking about real estate. I did not think about real estate. I did not think about commissions. I did not think about money. I said I had money for the next couple of months, whatever. I'm like, let me just start figuring out what's going on with me. And once I changed my perspective and on everything in life, it literally everything else fell into place.
Right. So it's almost reverse engineering. So it's like, how do I got to get rich. I got to make money so I can work on my stuff. So I feel better. So I like this thing that's inside me that is holding me down. If I made more money, I'd be able to do it, but it's a reverse, right? It's like,
100%.
what is keeping my mindset from doing what I need to do to achieve the things that I want? And do I think I deserve them? Because if I don't think I deserve them, then I'm not going to achieve them. So I got to work on whatever that is. And
And
then,
also, it's not the thing. It's never about the thing. It's not the money because
Mhm.
it's all about the feeling. So, what does the money actually do for you? It gives you freedom, right? So, what I'm actually chasing is freedom, not the money. So, you have to go that way.
Right.
It's not the car. It's not about the car or the relationship. If you want the relationship, it's not about the relationship. It's about maybe it's the love. You want to
Mhm.
chase the feeling, and then those other things just fall into line. Then you get the opportunities to get more of that feeling.
Right. Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if that
love that.
makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds
So
crazy to people who don't understand mindset because I just sound like a crazy person and it's fine. But like, I know I really understand what it's been doing for me.
yeah, it's frozen actions, right? So like you see something that you need to do and you can't do it, but you don't know why.
Yeah,
Until you like look internal and answer the question about why am I afraid to do it or why am I keeping myself from doing it, right? And then once you unshackle that, you get to do whatever you want to do. I love talking about um, the Groundhog's Day.
yeah.
You know the movie Ground with Bill Murray?
Mhm.
It's it's actually a life lesson for me, that movie Groundhog's Day. And
Yeah.
I had a moment in my life where I was incredibly depressed and sad and didn't feel like I might, like when I was going through my divorce and all that, where I couldn't, it was hard for me to breathe. It was hard for me, like I felt in a lot of ways not suicidal, but if a truck hit me.
Right, right. It'd be okay. Right.
um, and then I really remembered Groundhog's Day. and,
Yeah.
and what happened was, I remember like that guy, Bill Murray, lived a life where he just did and said whatever he wanted.
Hmm.
And I thought, well, if I don't even care if I live, then let me just do and say whatever the hell I want.
Fair.
And
Yeah.
because who cares anyway?
Yeah.
And it unlocked all those pain. Like it just kind of like let that wash away. And now I'm just living a life again, like where I'm saying and doing whatever seems to fit my life and my, and so
And
that
that's coming from what you feel about you. So you're not making decisions based on what someone else is feeling or thinking about you or what they're going to be saying about you. It doesn't really matter because what they
right,
don't like about you, they don't like about themselves. And you're
right.
making decisions based on that perspective. And
Hmm.
what people feel or think or view me as is none of my business. It's
Yeah.
really how I feel about me and what am I doing that makes me actually happy. And then I know that sounds like nothing about real estate, but it all comes back to that. It comes back to everything.
Yeah. Because it releases you to take all the positive actions you want to take. And if you love the business that we're in, which I know
Right.
you do,
Yeah.
and I do, then you get to take all those actions, and you get to take the leap of faith in yourself and do what you have to do. And then as you're seeing these changes happen, you're like we talked about, we're not gonna say how much money, but you had a good month, right? And we were talking about like what would that look like over 12 months? What would it look like over 10 years?
Right.
And you can see a path, a pretty simple path on becoming a millionaire, right?
Mhm.
And isn't that wild to think
Wild.
about who you were, like mindset wise, who you were a few months ago, and now like being able to look into the future and go, I have millions coming to me and I deserve it, and I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to follow all the path to get it.
And it's almost like I put that on the shelf because I already know that's going to happen. So
Yeah,
now what's the next feeling that I want? What's the
right.
next thing I want to have in my life? Because that's already there. That's already
Yeah.
going to happen. You know what I mean? And it's just, just living in it's living in knowing you can, but also it's not just the words. Like you have to feel it. But you
Mhm.
can't get that from someone else. Like you can't give that to me. You've tried for like a year.
I'm
You're like,
aware.
Krystal. I'm like, and you can't. You cannot do it. You just can't.
So, what are you doing to work on yourself that's helping this breakthrough?
So I've literally been listening to this podcast just all day, every day. And I
Mhm.
take notes and I'm journaling. I'm going to a seminar in 2 weeks to Indianapolis that I booked by mistake. Now I'm
Mhm.
going, taking a flight. And
Mhm.
every day, there's two things. I make sure I'm super conscious about everything. I'm aware of what's triggering me. And when I feel triggered or I'm stepping back, I try to find out why. Why is that? And then I sit with it and then I move forward.
Mhm.
And, I just try to not anyone who's judging me, I put it back on them. I'm just trying to stay really focused on being positive and actually grateful, like super in your heart grateful.
Right. Yes. You know what? You reminded me there were times where we would have morning gratitude and you were lying.
I was so grateful. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have to think and make it up.
Right.
But
Right.
the universe here is the subconscious and conscious, right? Whatever
Mhm.
you're actually really feeling or thinking or about yourself is what you get. So
Right.
you really have to work on yourself to actually get the real things that you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
got to
ask
find
yourself
out,
why you're feeling what you're feeling.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you're actually feeling, not what you're portraying,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like Vanessa likes to say, what story are you telling? What
100%.
what story are you telling yourself right now? That's, I mean, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times she what
You're opening
story.
up
Right.
story number 3. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We do that all the time. But again, that is fear based on what other people are going to perceive you as. That's the story. You're creating your own havoc.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stop doing that.
I know. Let's stop doing that.
I know.
So what are the things that, like, now that you feel unlocked,
Uh-huh.
which we have to embrace that you're not, right?
No.
Like but you see the path of just like seeing the world in the way you want to see it and living your life the way you want to live without like stopping yourself. So what do you want? Is that something you figured out yet?
No, I have a lot more to figure out. But for example, something I want to bring up. Yesterday, you said something to me. It triggered the shit out of me.
All
I
right.
was so triggered.
Okay.
You said it was about leads that
Okay.
wasn't taking any opportunity on.
Yeah.
And you kind of called me out.
Hmm.
And then we hung up and I was just mad.
I remember hearing it, like I felt it.
I was
But not
mad.
it's like, yeah,
I
again.
was mad. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So here I am, as I'm sitting there trying to get an
Mhm.
inspection on my car. I'm sitting on the floor and I'm like, this guy, right? I'm just mad at you. I'm mad at you. And then, but
Mhm.
I'm so conscious now, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, you're not mad at him. Okay. Because what you're mad about him, you're mad about yourself. So what's your issue? What's the
right.
problem? Okay. I haven't taken the steps. Okay. And you are mad at yourself, Krystal, for not doing that. So this is triggering you. That means we have to figure it out. And we need to make a resolve. So what is it? Look at it. So I'm like pretending I'm trying to figure it out and I'm not. Blah, blah, blah. And
Mhm.
then I took a breath. I took a step back. I'm like, I'm going to create a solution. And he's right.
Mhm.
And I will. And then I came up with a solution for you. I texted it to you. I was like, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. But the
Yeah,
truth is that also helped me realize like, you have to take accountability. And sometimes, like, when someone is triggering you, is because it's your shit that you need to deal with.
right.
So that was
Yeah.
really helpful. I'm actually really into triggers now. When people trigger me, I'm like, all right,
Good.
what's
Yeah,
my
it's good.
problem?
Yeah.
What do I got to do? What am I missing? What am I lacking?
Yeah, and that's it. You should be grateful when you're pissed,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Every time I'll even text Vanessa, I'm like, I'm so triggered right now. She's like, all right. I'm like, let's see what this is. Because it's helping. It helps.
Yeah.
Most of the time you get mad, but why? You shouldn't be mad. It's there to help you.
Yeah. And that was a problem. It was a problem that needed solving. So, yeah. But what's awesome is if it were you at any other time
Mhm.
or any other person, where if that happened, what happens there is they don't take action. I notice they don't take action. They're getting resentful because I'm on top of them for taking action. This distance creates, and then their or alternate you is not successful,
Mhm.
and alternate you is making it someone else's fault.
Yep. Yes.
Then then alternate you never gets success because you're not looking inward at how to solve and how to do and how to build the system around a better you, because if it's always outside, there's no growth, there's no doing better, there's no building the systems or the process or the mindset that makes you better.
And it was always outside for me. It was
Mm.
always outside for me. And
Yeah.
I'm learning that it's never been. It's never
Right.
been inside. It's always been inside.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the biggest turnoffs I get when someone comes to me because I'm thinking about joining your brokerage, I really hate my broker. I'm like, you and I are not going to work out.
Right.
You're
Right.
because it sounds like you're not willing to look inward. Like
Mhm.
I haven't accomplished because they don't do any this for me, they don't do that for me.
Yep.
Um, that is not a mindset I want involved in. If I can't break that, I'm out. Like, and I'm like, it's like they're when you see it, they're announcing their problems.
Mhm.
They could be toxic to our culture.
So true.
Um, so kudos to you for not being that person.
No. I might have been a little while ago. I would have internalized it for days and
Hmm.
been mad at you and created why this is an issue and why you're the problem and just give it to someone else.
Right.
I just needed a little time to be like, oh, wait a second.
So
Okay.
now on, like when I hear that, I just go, I'll give you 24 hours.
That's what I
Right,
might just say, you're triggering me. I got to go. Let me
right,
work
right.
it, and then I'll come back. But I
Right.
really do appreciate the triggers with anything now, like with anything.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
I
people are
noticed.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I appreciate. Yeah, this is something I'm learning too in my later part of life is seeing that.
Yeah.
Um, I noticed you put something new in Pete's talks. I didn't get to see it. What is that?
I was about to. Um,
Okay.
I was going to add what we spoke about this morning, cash on cash returns and everything. But then I
Oh,
got
okay.
busy with something else. So I'm
Right,
going to
right,
go
right.
back and I'm going to start adding more stuff to that too.
Good. I like that.
We can share it with the world.
Yeah, because I forget what I say.
I know.
So I love that there's someone documenting
Yeah.
when, yeah, there's some proof I say some smart things out there.
Yeah. No, I have the
Yeah.
proof. Yeah. Um, I was about to add. That's so funny. I forgot we shared the note,
Hmm.
but then I got preoccupied with something else. Um, yeah. So it's just looking inward, projecting outward.
So you've been with me like 2 years now, right?
Mhm.
I want to
Yeah.
say so. Um, you've had some ups and downs. We've
Yes.
just discussed a lot. A lot of it internal.
Uh-huh.
Um, but you stuck with it and you stuck through it, right? Like what kept you from quitting in moments where things where like you told yourself it wasn't working, or like, or I wasn't working for you, or like whatever it was. What kept you going, and what should people know about keeping going?
I I deep down fully believed what you said about this business. I fully trust you
Hmm.
in that I could do this. It was I just had to get out of my own way. And when I thought about quitting 100,000 million times, I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to working, getting X amount an hour, making $40,000 a year when I can do that in a month.
Right.
Like I know I can do that in a month. I know. So once you know, you can't
Yeah.
fight that off. Like I know. And I was so trying to figure out the processes that was what's getting in my way. I don't have to know how I'm going to do it. I just know that I can do it. And if I'm
Right.
open to it, it will all come to me. But I know I can do it. And so much of it was like when I wanted to quit, it was my insecurities on colleagues, how I thought they would think I'm coming from ego and I can do this. And I would hold back because of that. Because I was fearful of how they would perceive me. And now I don't come from a place of I'm better or anything. It's just I know what I can do. And once you know that you can do it, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Just you
Yeah.
can do it. The other stuff will work out, like how and where and how do I get you'll figure that out. You just have to actually believe you can do it.
Yeah, and whatever else people are thinking, it doesn't, like, it's
None of my
literally white
business.
noise. Like I don't know if I've learned how to do this or I've always done this. I'm just insane, but I hear other people's criticism often. It's just nothing. Like I don't even hear it or feel it. Like it bounces off of me. Um, and I think that's one of the blessings I have is this like possible insanity where like I
Yeah,
have a delusion of grandeur where
right.
like I can just do it. Just give me the thing, and I'll do it. But that's the unlocking piece, right? That's part is just staying in your lane and doing what you got to do.
And also it's like, how much are you putting on failure? So, like I did have a deal, it was gonna go through, and then it didn't. I literally come from a place now, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Instead of having this fear of like, I didn't get it and all this drama, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Even last week, I was driving and I was doing 85. I didn't even know because it's like on a road you won't even realize. And I got
Mhm.
pulled over and the cop is talking to me and I'm like, I didn't have an inspection sticker. He's like, you were doing 85. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't even realize. And he
Mhm.
came back with 2 tickets. Normally, I'd be like shaking, seething. He's like, well, if you do this, that. I'm like, listen, it is what it is. What am I gonna do? I was speeding. You gave me a ticket. I actually felt like that. Like, it is what it is. Why we're
Right.
putting so much of anything on things that just don't matter? It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, put your energy and into the stuff that does matter, the things that bring you joy. Those other things, it is what it is.
Yeah. I am literally, and this is something that happens for me constantly with real estate agents, because I think only because I constantly deal in real estate agents. Um, I'm sure if I went to any other business, it would be the same, but I am dealing with constantly people looking backwards
Mm,
and not just say, wash it off, go to the next one. You
right.
know, the energy you're spending telling this story about how you were wronged or how somebody, it's not normal to do X this way, or like it is energy that's changing your emotions,
Hmm.
and it's energy not spent bettering your life. And
Right.
like, if you audit all that time and energy, how much, I mean, it's like looking at how much you waste money. It's wasted energy. It's more
Yeah.
valuable, that, because it's not only how you can achieve that money, but it's how you can achieve a happy life, is like just letting go of the negative things.
Yeah. Because you're really chasing the happiness, the joy, the abundance. You're chasing that. And when you're sitting in the stuff that already happened and you can't do anything about it, what's the point? It's like sitting on a rocking chair. Like, it gives you something to do, but you're not going anywhere. So,
Yeah, one of the things that always hits me, and I this is something that comes, I think, being a man. It's like when you bring me something, I'm thinking about how do we solve it, right?
mm,
So like you're like, well, so when somebody's telling me something and it's just about complaining, and it's just about this bad thing happened, can you believe it? My brain is going, all right, I'm waiting for the part that I have to solve. I'm waiting for the part that I have to solve.
right.
And then like, there's nothing here to solve. Why are we having this conversation? Why is this energy being spent, especially when you're here to work? Like, that is like sacrilege to me. Like, you just use that sentence for negativity and non-productivity.
You're right. But if it was coming from a woman, and this is just a different
Yeah. Yeah.
topic,
Yeah.
sometimes women just need to be heard. They need to say it, be
Hmm.
heard, and then move on from their life. But that's another story and another live.
Right. Now, as a broker, how do I
Right.
decide when to redirect energy and when I should just listen? And because my instinct is stop that, redirect, like keep, we're here for positivity. Don't, like, that's my.
It's, I hear you. Your
Mhm,
feelings are valid,
mhm,
but now let's move to the thing that's positive. Everybody wants to be heard and understood, seen,
right,
heard, understood. And then you can move on.
right.
But even if you don't really, you're like, okay, it's drama. Okay, I hear you. You're seen. I understand your feelings. Let's get back to work.
Yeah, now get to work. Get to work.
Get the work. Go find that dog.
What can you tell the world what that's about?
No, because you're so annoying. You say it best, though. You have
No,
to say.
yeah. No, you tell a good story. Go ahead.
I'm the worst storyteller ever. I never know
No.
how to build suspense and then get to the fun part. You're good at that. But anyway, if you tell the story, then I'll tell you my thoughts about it.
Okay. You're trading like.
Because now every day I'll like leave the house and I'm like, I gotta go find that fucking dog.
Right.
Or I'll be like, hey, I found that fucking dog. I found it. Yep. Even if I don't get it, I found him.
Right.
Ran
Right.
off again. I'm like, ah, crap, I gotta go find him again.
Yeah. I don't remember the full context. I just remember you were down, you were out, like you were like you were trying to like figure out what to do with your life, and I'm
Right,
like, and where to take action, and I'm like,
right.
just take action. So like, I don't even know how to tell the story now, because
You were
you were
because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, how do I find more business? And you were like
right,
trying to give me ideas. You're like, I don't know, like it's not in your house. So get
right.
out of your house. And he's like, Krystal, get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog. I'm like, okay, I'll go find
Yeah,
the fucking dog.
yeah.
And
The idea was
right,
not in your house.
right,
You're sitting home wondering how to get new business and just sitting there trying to think your way to money
Right.
and no action. I'm like, leave the goddamn house and get out there. And we did the Billy Madison,
Right,
find
right,
that
right.
fucking dog. Like,
Like you're right, cursing. Yes, I
yeah,
know. And
yeah,
even if even if now like there was an opportunity to like to talk to someone and I spoke to them and I did all the things and I didn't actually get it,
right,
but I felt successful
right,
because I would have never done that. I would have just been like putting a blind eye to it, but I went there and I had a
yeah,
conversation and I did the whole thing. And I'm like, I found it. I found
yeah.
that dog.
You
He just
find that dog,
he
and
ran
that
off.
yeah, and that I was mimicking what I did as a brand new real estate agent. I
Yeah,
didn't know exactly what to do. I just knew it wasn't happening in my house, and
right.
I would leave the house. Sometimes just sit in my car, going, "Where do I go? Where do I like?"
Right.
But I had this desperation
Right.
to make something happen, and even if I just talked to somebody, it could lead to something. And I just like
Yep.
made sure I was just even bad actions are better than no actions.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. So I find the dog daily.
So now you're out there finding the dog.
Finding that dog. So fun.
So, all right. So what should the world know if they were you a year ago? How would they? Let's compress people's time. So if it took you 2 years to this mindset to see yourself as a millionaire, to know that it's happening, to see this a system and a process, how do we compress time for somebody so that they can be where you are in 6 months instead of 2 years?
I mean, I don't know if this is the end all be all answer, but it literally has to do with taking a look at yourself. You literally have to look within and realize and acknowledge that you can and you're capable and let all the outside noise just dissipate. Because for so long, I was just trying to satisfy everyone and I was totally neglecting myself. And like, that's the only thing that has changed for me is just even like you putting things on me, it wasn't helping. Actually, so much for you just almost washing your hands and being like, you know what, Krystal, like you're gonna have to figure this out on your own. That is what
Mhm.
it was. I had to look within myself. I think we even stopped talking for a little bit. Like we had like a
Yeah.
yeah, like you wouldn't call me, I wouldn't call you. And like
Mhm.
I was just dying. I had to die
Mhm.
to then be like, you have to look within yourself and just realize like you can do anything with anything. You can literally do anything you want, but it
Right.
takes daily looking at it daily, not just today. Like every morning, I have to be conscious. I'm like, okay, I feel like this. What do I do? What
Yeah.
does this do?
Clarify when you say look at it. What is that? Like, because like if I didn't understand, because I understand what you're saying, but if I was a layman and wasn't in work and trying to be a better person, what you were saying, like look at it would just be gibberish to me.
Okay.
So,
For
like
example, you wanted me
tell
to
your
do this today.
yeah,
You
yeah,
wanted me to do this today. You wanted me to
yeah,
do it yesterday.
yes,
And I had every excuse why not to.
right.
Right. Then you wanted to do it today.
Hmm.
And I still had an excuse why we shouldn't.
Hmm.
And then I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to do it. And the reason why I'm looking at it, I said, Krystal, why are you scared to have this conversation right now? Okay. Because people are going to see me. Okay. People are going to judge me. Okay. What if I don't know what to say? Okay. And I'm sitting there thinking about my internal insecurities about going on here. And so for me, it's looking within. Why won't you do this? Why won't you take this step? Why are you pushing it away? Why? Keep asking why. Why is this? Why is that? And it's because I'm fearful of judgment of what are people going to say? What is the backstory going to be? What are they going to say behind my back? Am I going to be perfect? And all those stories that I created about not getting on here with you today. I was like, I have to go in 10 minutes. You're like, we're on. I'm like, shit. The truth
Right.
is, like, You have to do those things. The things that you're probably most scared to do, you should probably do, and fall on your face and stumble and stutter and all that.
Yeah. And I think what's important is you're asking yourself why you're not doing it. Previously, you might have been like, or someone else might have been like, I just don't like being on video, or I have this to do, or like
Why?
I have like you can, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Why
there's
don't you like to
you
do
can
a
think of
video?
20 different reasons why it's appropriate for you to not be here doing the thing that is going to help you and help advance your business and express yourself and just do the hard thing. But you ask yourself, why don't I want to do this, instead
Mhm.
of just laying it out and telling yourself why.
Right. It's always asking why. Keep asking yourself why, and then you're
Mhm.
eventually gonna get to the answer, and then that's the problem. And then you can actually look at it face on and say, "All right, this is the actual fear." Fear
Mhm.
only exists in your mind. So you take that away, and then you'll be able to do all the things you want.
Was this worse than you thought or better than you thought?
No, it's fine. And
Right,
that's
it's fine.
the
Right,
fear. It's scarier to think about than to
right,
actually do the thing you're supposed to do.
right.
It
Yeah.
really is always that way, no matter what it is. Yeah.
All right, well done. All right, you did it. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, boss.
All right.
See you later.
See you soon.